Hello, today I'm going to show you two methods for displaying ordinal dates in a Primavera P6 schedule. The first method will be using Excel. Before we start, I need to point out that for my ordinal dates schedules, I like using a 7-day week calendar. And the calendar usually has, if I open it, you see 8-hour day, and the 8 hours are spread over a 9-hour period. So it starts at 800 hours and ends at 1700 hours with an hour break in between. So the importance of this will become apparent later when we're doing the calculations in Excel. So if I close the calendar, first thing will be I need to change the time scale from calendar dates to ordinal dates. So if I right click, time scale, luckily P6 comes predefined with ordinal date time scale. So select ordinal dates. The interval month is fine by me. Yeah, that looks good. Next thing, we need to create two user-defined fields that would replace the start and finish dates columns. So the first field will be start day, but because I'm going to show two methods, I need to differentiate the UDFs. So for this, I'm going to prefix it with Excel. You don't need to use that if you're not setting up for both methods. So for data type, I'll go with integer because I don't want decimal places. If I were to use numbers, a number, it will come with decimal places. So go with integer. The next one will be finish day, and again I'm prefixing with Excel. Go for integer as data type again. Close the interface. Now I need to add the two UDF fields to my layout. Click columns, and under UDF go for start date and finish day. Click OK. Now they're empty, so we need to export to Excel. File, export. Go for spreadsheet, activities, and select the project. Now I need to create a template. Go for ordinal dates, import. The fields in the selected options look fine to me except for resources, which I don't need. Take that out. Under user defined field, I'll look for the two fields we created. So I've got the start date and finish date. Filter, fine, I want all activities. For sort, not really fussed about this, but I'll go with start date. So go start. The good thing about creating a template is it's reusable. You don't need to go through this step next time. You just come pick up your template and continue. So click next and save this. Yep, the location is fine. Click next and then finish. Says our export was successful. Now we need to open the Excel file. Yep, the file is open. I need to highlight the start milestone for the project, which is the effective date, because it's our project start date. So what we need to do is for start date, we're going to use the formula of start date minus project start. So in this case, it will be E3 minus our project start date. So we have to make that an absolute reference so that we can fill down. See, it gives 0 because they're on the same date, but we want the first day of our project is not day 0, it's day 1. So this formula we do +1. Now we fill down. Now I'll come back to these error messages. This because these activities are finished milestones, and as you know in P6, finished milestones do not have start dates. Now for the finish day column, similar formula, it will be finish day minus the project start date, another absolute reference, +1, enter. But this time you notice it's got decimal places, and I don't want decimal places. And because we're in Excel, and Excel when calculating date also takes the time and part of date into account. So here it's looking at 1700 hours minus the 0800 hours. So to get rid of that, of the decimal place, we factor in the time part of it. And remember, our 8-hour day calendar is spread over a 9-hour period from 0800 hours to 1700 hours. So that's the 9. We divide by 24 hours in a day. And that gets rid of our decimal place. So we have this activity starting on day 1 and finishing on day 30. So we fill down, and this error is because this is a start milestone, and in P6 start milestones do not have finish dates. But for our ordinal dates, we need start milestones to have finish dates and finish milestones to have start date. So, and they should be the same date. So the start and finish date for a milestone should be the same. So in this case, we go equal to that, and then here we do the same, equal to this. Just copy this, paste, 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 paste. Now we're all set up for import back into P6, but if I were to import now, P6 will give me an error message because of the formulas in this spreadsheet. So I need to get rid of the formulas. Now do that by selecting all the cells under these 2 columns, copy, right click, and paste values. Paste values will get rid of the formulas. Now I'll save my Excel, close the file, go back to P6, file import, want to import spreadsheet, select the file, and go to my directory, pick up my Excel file, next, I only want activities, yep, update existing, yep, it should show my open file, select that, next, click finish. It says my import was successful. And you can see it's successful. So next thing, we need to hide the start and finish date columns. So move that away from selected options. Now I need to edit this title so that the Excel part doesn't show up in the schedule, in the layout when issued to client or whoever is the recipient for the schedule. Click OK. Yep. And that's it. That's the Excel method. So remember to save the layout so that you can reuse it in future. Now for the second method. So this is a copy of the file we used the last time. Again, for this, I'll change the time scale, ordinal. This time around, we need 3 user-defined fields. The first user-defined field, which I'm prefixing with, will be project start date. Now so the GC is for global change. In global change, it's when under activities, it's not possible to access the project plan start date field. So I'm going to manually, I will have to manually enter that. So I'm creating this UDF field. So the data type will be start date. Now create two fields that will replace the start and finish dates. So it's GC start day. That will be integer as previously discussed, and then GC finish day. Again, this would be an integer. Now close this interface. Add the start and finish day fields to our layout. I don't want the GC part to show up in the layout, so edit the columns, take out the GC part. Now it's time to populate. So you go to tool, global change. So we go new global change. So for this, I'm going to title the first one start day, or just say let's go ordinal start date. Now under the if section, make sure all of the following is selected. Then come to the middle section, the then section, add. So we go for our project start, and in this schedule our start date is 6th of July. So I go custom equal to custom date, and it's picked up the 6th of July, which is same as our data date. Then I add another line of formula, and the reason why I said you should choose all of the following so that we have the AND operator here. So this time we'll go for our start date, our ordinal start date. So this is GC start date, which will be formula will be start, the P6 start date minus our project start date. So which will be our user defined field. Now, so for the effective date or the start milestone, the first milestone, which is 6th of July. So if you do 6th of July minus 6th of July, it will give you 0. Like previously explained, we want the first day of our project to be day 1, not day 0. So we need to do add a +1. That means another line of formula. Again, we take our start day equal to, so the previous line of formula is saved in the start, this variable. So we go again, we take that start day equal to start day +1. So you go for custom and change the 0 to 1. So click change to apply the global change. You'll be prompted about canceling. You say, do you want to proceed? Yes. So the global change report will highlight all the changes that will be made. I'm happy with this, so I commit the changes. Do you like to save log? No. Click OK. Close our global change, and you see that the start day column has been populated. We'll do the same for the finish day column. New global change. So this will be 0 to ordinal finish date. Again, you need all of the following selected, and this time we go for the finish day. So it will be finish date minus our project start date that we calculated in the first global change. Now, because P6, within P6, the day is properly defined, we don't need to do the 9/24 on the end. So we go, so you click change and say yes to proceed. And then the report, commit changes. So if we close, we see that the finish day column has also been populated. But if you look closely, you will notice that for the start milestone, the start date is 1, but finish day is 0. And for the finish milestones, the start day is 1 greater than the finish day. So we need to fix this. And if we go back to our global change, start with the ordinal start date, click modify. So in the if section, we'll say if activity type is not a finish milestone, then we want this formula for calculating our start date. But if it's a finish milestone, you come to the else section of this global change, click add, and then our formula will be GC start day. So this time, instead of, because else is saying if it's a finish milestone, what we need to calculate is finish minus the project start date. And click change. Yes, want to proceed. This is our report. Yep. Commit changes. We do not want to save log. I'll close the interface. You go look at it. So you see for finish milestones, they now have same start day as finish day. So we still have to sort out for start milestone, the finish day still not right. So we'll go back to our global change. Click modify the finish dates, ordinal finish dates, global change. So this time we're saying if activity type is not a start milestone, carry out this calculation. But if it's a start milestone, we do something different. So we go GC finish date, start date minus our GC project start date. And because we're using start date in calculation, we need to add the +1. So we go GC finish date +1. So click change. Yes to proceed. Commit changes. no to saving log. Okay, close, and voila, it fixed the start milestone um, ordinal date problem. So next we hide our start and finish dates, the calendar dates. So remove them from the selected options. Okay, and then you're good to go. Once again, save this layout. Then you can issue it to the client or part of your tender submission. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.